Good morning, everyone. Thank you once again. Let me observe the protocols as they have already been recognized. I can see the chair is laughing, but I'm observing those protocols. Having said that, and I think Waziri have just left us, let me from the outset just say that we are here from Busia as full house, full team, just for you to appreciate how we value that opportunity that we were given to be among the first pilot counties. Yeah, mambo ya protocol too. So I just want to appreciate the Busia team that is here. Kama mnaweza kusimama tu ndio muone vile tumekuja. So this team is led by my deputy governor who has already been introduced. I've got almost 3 CCs, ndio mawaziri watatu ya youth, ya ICT na ya agriculture. Chief officers wote, asanteni, mnaweza keti. Why are we all here? And why have we come in such a large number? I think, Your Excellency Commission, it is just to appreciate what this project has done for the people of Busia, being an eye-opener, and in our mother tongue. They always say that, a young child, wherever you have maybe tested some honey or some sugar, you may tend to think that there will still be some more there. So we have come here to appreciate what the project has done. But we have also come here believing that there could be still some more honey left or still coming. That's why we are here. So let me just go through a few pleasantries. Then I will say 1 or 2 things and conclude. My chair, I want to recognize you. It is with tremendous honor to be here today with the UK International Development Team and all those involved in the implementation of Digital Access Program. I want to begin by expressing my deepest gratitude to the UK government and its partners for invaluable work you are doing through Digital Access Program. Your commitment to expanding inclusive and secure digital access in transforming lives, empowering communities, and building stronger and more resilient societies. In today's world, digital connectivity is no longer a luxury but a necessity. It fuels education, it drives economic growth, strengthens governance, and enables innovation that shape our future. Yet too many digital divides remain a daily reality, digital divide remains a reality, separating so many from opportunities and progress. That's why the work of the Digital Access Program is so critical. By bridging these divides, by making technology safer, more affordable, and more accessible, you are not just opening new markets, but opening new possibilities for millions of people. That is why the work of Digital Access Program, as I said, is critical by bridging those gaps. I'm particularly proud to see this program making a difference in Busia, creating pathways for young entrepreneurs and even for our girls and women. And I think from what the British High Commission said here, there is an example in this room of somebody who has benefited from this program. It's a practical thing. It's a living thing. So I want to just thank you for being a good example. I'm sure as we sit here, the British will still continue. The British people will still continue to think how best we can team up with Busia, because you have seen that investment has borne some very good returns. As a governor, I've seen firsthand the power of connectivity in uplifting the communities, and we would really want to continue to be partners. And in these efforts, we are also aligning our digital policies, making sure that we bring our institutions, including our assemblies, on board, so as to be able to understand that these investments have got a multiplier effect on the community's development. In closing, I want to thank you once again for your leadership, your partnership, and your unwavering belief that technology must be for the good of society and not something that sometimes has been exploited in a wrong way. And when I was here, I was listening to the minister very carefully when he was also talking about cybersecurity and training. And I hope one of those opportunities that he talked about will be able to go to these people of Busia. So I hope the people in the ministry, Victor, sinaona bado huko hapo, mwambie Busia iko na mtu mmoja ya kupeana. Thank you so much. Otherwise, I look forward to a fruitful deliberation, because the statistics have already been read. I don't want to repeat them. Those who listened, you know how Busia, we have managed to have at least over 4,000 people, and almost half of the population reached out or exposed. And why are we saying that this has a multiplier effect? We have come up with programs, like even as simple as, plowing for farmers. And without a digital platform, which at that time when we were launching, we thought it would also be an example, but we have been struggling. So I hope through this training and this exposure that my team, and I can see the Chief Officer for Agriculture is here, that we will be able to leverage after this workshop and even get partners to make that a reality. Because, the plowing season is so limited, and you'd find a farmer still struggling on how to communicate, how to book a tractor so that they can have their farms plowed. And because most of them are small holders, we try to put them in circles. So if they are digitally literate, or they have got a platform, it will be very easy for them to pull together and even maybe have one tractor plowing for 5 of them, one with half an acre or 2 acres or 5 acres. And we have registered quite a number, I think 150,000 households that we have registered. So even if we can just access 30% of that, that will be almost 30,000 households. And if each has an acre, we are talking of 30,000. So that's how we are talking, how digitally we are connecting agriculture with this digital access. We're also doing what we are calling industrial parks and building value chains. So that means, again, the food they'll be producing, they can be linked to the markets, they can be linked to the industries through these digital platforms, if they are accessed by the people in rural communities. And as again, it was said by the minister, the issue of hotspots, the issue of, network in some of the remote places is still quite a bit of challenge for us. And I hope as we continue to talk, we'll be getting solutions. Because I had one of them was the suggestion that, some of these people who are being trained, some of those public hotspots can be, given to them so that they leverage together and even maybe be able not only to give us services, but also make some livelihoods out of it. So I'll be looking forward again to those kind of solutions that will be coming out. We are also a border county. So we are also looking at opportunities, because 70% of Kenya's trade is within the East African region, Uganda, Congo, Sudan. So again, if we can have some kind of leverage, we were given a one-stop border point. But the problem with it is it has not integrated the business. We are supposed to be a logistics hub to make sure that business flows. I've seen embassies coming to Busia, looking at it that, I'm either, for example, I have seen the Japanese ambassador there, and they were interested just to see how the infrastructure at the border is supporting business. Because they said most of our business in Africa goes through this border, but the infrastructure may not be there. So you can again see the opportunities if we're going to have access to these digital platforms, because these things we used to have previously called clearing and forward. they became obsolete because of technology. And a lot of youths and people were rendered jobless when that, was it called Simba platform or something like that? But we imagine there are opportunities on this digital platform that they may not have been able to exploit because they have not just had opportunities like now what this program is trying to deliver. And that can make our county a serious logistics hub to support business, not just within Kenya, but also within the East African region that would be targeting almost 300 or 400 million people in Africa. And that can be an opportunity driven by digital literacy for our people. Lastly, I just want to mention again, as you discuss this, I know that as counties, we are really challenged, both just in terms of expertise, infrastructure, and sometimes just the basic hardware that people are talking about. When I saw that you donated something like 150 computers to Mandera, somebody may just think that it's a passive thing, but I want to appreciate that because I know what we are going through. Our hospitals, we are trying to come up with what we are calling facility improvements. And some of them are in very rural areas, but we want accountability. So this digital bridge that you are building is going to help us do that. We are saying that, we want to automate our revenue. But I've seen some of our people who would say, they still can't use the phone to pay for revenue. And yet, when you send them M-Pesa, they're able to recognize that very quickly. But when you tell them to use the phone to pay for services, so I believe, again, this kind of training will have a multiplier effect because these are the same citizens that we're expecting, to be paying for some of the services that the government is offering. Otherwise, thank you so much. I want to appreciate when MC, I don't know whether you want me to do what you wanted me to do, but I think since they... my colleague from the northeastern area, and who is also my chair at COG, that's why I omitted mentioning a few things about the Council of Governors, because I saw my chair walking in, and I believe he'll be able to cover for us and maybe take it from there with our colleagues from other areas. Hiyo nitawachia mwenyekiti. So with those very many remarks, Chair, I think you can now come and fully represent us as COG and introduce the other governors who are also here. Karibu. Makofi kwake. I also want to appreciate Grace. I think you worked with my dad sometimes back at Kenya Institute of Mass Communication. Thank you for remembering me. I am now here. Ile kijana yake yuko hapa. Mwenyewe Mwenyezi Mungu alimchukua. Thank you so much. Because when I walked in, I could see the expression. It was real. That it has been a very long time. And thank you that you are still doing a very good job. Thank you. Karibu, Chair. Yeah.
Omwam is a real dynasty. His dad worked at the Institute of Mass. I have a speech here which I'll first give. Then before that, maybe I could introduce the governors and the deputy governors who are in the house. We have Governor Wesley Rotich. Governor, have you spoken? Oh, okay. And maybe we'll give you an opportunity to say something as well. Governor of Elgeyo Marakwet. Then we have Governor Paul Otuoma, who just left the podium, the governor of Busia County. We also have a number of deputy governors. We have Abdi Dagane, deputy governor of Garissa, who is representing Monabik Jama. Maybe you can stand so that people can see you. Then we have Deputy Governor of Mandera, Dr. Ali Mahmoud, and Deputy Governor of Busia, His Excellency Odera, who accompanied his governor. We also have in-house Governor Emeritus, Governor Ngwai, former governor of Kisii, who served for 10 continuous years. I was with him in the first council. So once a governor, always a governor. Thank you very much. I was here before the function started, and it was colliding with another function at Senate. I was supposed to represent COG, so I rushed to the Senate just to realize that they postponed it by 2 hours. So they said that one starts at midday. And then I came back. That shows you how important this function is and how seriously we are taking it. The Honorable William Kabogo, he has left, I'm sure he's here. The Honorable His Excellency Dr. Paul Okwoma, His Excellency Wesley Rotich, Excellencies Mahmoud Ali Mahmoud, Excellency Abdi Darane, Excellency Odera, Mr. Stanley Kamanguya, the CEO of ICT Authority. Stanley, I worked with Stanley before. Somewhere else, he'll tell you where. Dr. Ed Barnett, the Deputy High Commissioner, the British High Commission, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me first to extend my sincere appreciation to the British High Commission and KICTANet, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, for organizing this pivotal event to celebrate achievements and discuss the sustainability of digital initiatives under the UK Digital Access Programme, specifically highlighting the notable progress in Mandera and Busia counties. As we gather here today, we are reminded of the crucial importance of digital inclusion as a cornerstone for socio-economic development, especially in marginalized regions. The impact, the strengthening of digital communities projects has been remarkable, showcasing tangible outcomes in enhancing digital literacy, improving access to digital services, and importantly, driving socio-economic empowerment with a clear commitment to gender gap and social inclusion. Today, as we celebrate these milestones, I wish to transition your attention briefly to a similar yet distinct initiative that resonates strongly with the spirit of your discussions here, the digitally enabled gender equity and social inclusion for disadvantaged and excluded communities in Kenya, abbreviated as the GESI program. Kir County, situated in northeastern Kenya, is endowed with vibrant cultures and resilient communities. Despite facing historical, infrastructural, and developmental challenges, we remain committed to harnessing digital technology development challenges. We remain committed to harnessing digital technology as a catalyst for inclusive growth and socio-economic transformation. Our communities are eager to embrace the digital revolution to improve livelihoods and also enhance education, ensure food security, and participate actively in governance. The Legacy Initiative, funded generously by the UK Digital Access Programme, targets marginalized communities with the explicit goal of bridging the digital divide by providing foundational digital skills, promoting affordable internet access, and empowering vulnerable populations through targeted training and digital reliability skills. This aligns directly with our county's vision of digital transformation for inclusive growth and improved livelihoods. Specifically, the GESI is tailored to uplift women and girls, smallholder, farmers, youth, older adults, and persons with disabilities. Groups that have historically been excluded from digital opportunities, yet that are pivotal in community development. I'm proud to announce that Wajir County has actively engaged in the preparatory steps for the GES program. We are finalizing plans to hold a kickoff meeting and will soon host a comprehensive inception workshop to lay the groundwork for implementation. We aim to leverage the successes witnessed in other counties, integrating the best practices and lessons learned into our strategic approach. Through this initiative, we aim to train 1,250 of digital community champions who will further cascade digital literacy to thousands of our residents. We anticipate transformative outcomes, improved agricultural practices, increased incomes, and enhanced socio-economic empowerment. As we deliberate on sustainability plans and reflect on the successes achieved through digital inclusion initiatives, I reaffirm our commitment, both as all the counties participating and in particular as Wajir County, our unwavering commitment to these digital programs. Together with our esteemed partners and stakeholders, we will ensure that the digital inclusion is not just a cliche or a concept, but a lived reality for all communities. Thank you, and may our collective efforts lead us towards a more digitally inclusive, equitable, prosperous Kenya. Thank you very much. I'll not add much, but I just want to, echo a few of the things that have been said by my colleagues who are here. I think digital literacy, digital inclusion, and the pervasiveness of IT cannot be ignored in today's world. And it comes with a lot of good, of course, some bad that needs to be mitigated. But it's good that we're all digitally literate. And these programs help the masses, especially the people at the bottom of the pyramid, who cannot access internet and all these other, services. The importance of this, I just saw it this last couple of weeks. You have had the bizarre incident in which a young refugee girl was tricked into a marriage. She was sent pictures of a young man, and she was told, this is the young man that's interested in you, lives in Wajir County, so we'll take you to where he lives and go through the customary religious marriage processes. So the young girl is brought to Wajir County from the refugee camps, and the person she's supposed to marry is not the person whose photos she has been seeing. It's a much older person. And without her consent, the process goes through and it doesn't work. And she's having all these telephone calls that she makes back to her parents to say, this isn't workable, it's not working. I wouldn't get into the details of it. And has conversations with all the relatives of the man, tries to wriggle out of a situation, doesn't. And then later on, she's found not only killed, burnt and buried. And this is a life matter in court because the investigators and the court process is ongoing. So I don't want to be subjudice and not say much. But we now have circulating in social media clips of her conversation with the people that she thought would get her out of the situation. And we were hoping that those clips of those conversations would help unlock what really happened. So if that young lady didn't have a phone, and if she didn't know how to record, that call, probably it would have been that much more difficult to navigate. So this just it goes that basic need for digital literacy today. Of course, the other side of it is all this extortion by bloggers, especially to us politicians. And then even when you want to take legal action, you're told, sasa ukibishana na huyu atakutusi tu for life, wachana na yeye. The damage is already done. And this is why cybersecurity, people opening fake accounts, people maligning others in the social media space. We might be politicians, yes. And by taking up political positions in Kenya, I have said before, the moment you become a politician in Kenya, you give everybody a license to insult you. Even that one that cannot be trusted with an egg by his mother has a license to insult. That's what it means to be in public space. But people should also know that even politicians have families. They have kids who go to school together like kids. And so they should be sensitive, because we might not be, we might not be able to bring ourselves to the level to fight those who are maligning us and spreading propaganda against. And the only hope is that, Mr. Kamunguya, that the cybercrime acts can be brought into full force, right? So that we stop this nonsense. Because it's as if now, the other day when the security chiefs talked about the threat of social media to our security, they've been called all sorts of names. They've been insulted. But really, there has to be some way that this is done. No one has a license to use AI to start maligning people, either politicians or others. On the access bit, I really want to appreciate the UK government, the managers of this program for thinking about the Northeast. After devolution, First of all, counties take a lot of flack. It's as if every problem in Kenya can be explained by attributing it to failure of counties. But from where we sit as a COG, we actually think that if there is little good happening, then the counties take a huge percentage of that little. The problem is that we operate in the village. So we don't have an opportunity to hold the national limelight. The TVs are not interested in it. They're not interested in what these village administrators have to say. So we're the ones doing the real work on the ground. Because what has been devolved? Healthcare, water, basic trade, rural roads, ECD, etc., etc. And that's where the action is happening. But the resources we get relative to the size of the pot is really, really, really small. So when development partners decide to work directly with counties, I want to assure them that they're doing the right thing and they will make a difference. That's where a difference can be made at the grassroots. So we appreciate your working directly with the counties. Two, we appreciate even more when you work with these counties that have historically been marginalized. Every so often we are reminded, but it has been 10 years of devolution. We are told we will not continue rewarding poverty. My friends, how do you expect us to turn around a legacy of marginalization of 60 years plus with the share of that equitable share pot that we get? The whole pot is 10%. So what are these counties in Northern getting out of that 10% that has been given to all the counties? And how does that equalize us in 10 years? In fact, if road network, tarmac road network can be taken to Mandera, Samburu, Turkana, and all those farthest points of Kenya, if we can have electricity like everybody else, electricity, just connectivity to the national grid, then we will not be talking about marginalization and the need for affirmative action and the need for inclusion of poverty index in the equitable share. Of course, as you equalize for historical marginalization, you stop it by distributing fairly the resources there are going forward. Because marginalization was caused by skewed resource allocation. If on the one hand, you are equalizing, or you're being asked to equalize, and on the other hand, you still are allocating resources in a very skewed manner, it will be one step forward, two steps backwards. That may not have been the topic of today, but all of you are ambassadors. You know, when you live here, you go and have conversations with other people out there. So I really want to thank the British government for thinking about Kenya B. Right? We want to get to one Kenya, where everybody's on the national grid. You know, the other day when the president came to my place, Actually, it was in a public rally in my place where he mentioned those roads by name. Social media is awash with everybody. Now, everyone seems to have crammed the names of those roads. That is a good thing. First of all, now you know roads, names of roads in my place. Yeah. Kutulo, Tarbaj, Gari, what? Some are dancing high, others low, as they mentioned there. The names of the roads. It's a good thing to have a president, the attention to detail, to actually learn by memory or cram the names of roads. And it's true, those roads have been fixed. So those Kenyans making fun of it and calling it what do you call it? And Wongo, at least I can speak to those ones. The roads have been worked on, and they have started at, they are different stages. And I am hoping that that is a step towards having one Kenya, where everybody has a road and everybody has access to these facilities. With all those said, I thank those who conceptualized this idea. I thank the British government that's funding it, and I thank everyone who is involved, and I want to assure them of our cooperation to make these programs successful. Santeni, Mungu awabariki.
The team from the organizers of this meeting today, KICTANet, my chairman, my able chair, fellow colleagues from the Council of Governors, the deputy governors, former governor who is here, CEO Kamanguya, my friend, our deputy ambassador from deputy high commissioner, and all of us who are here, good morning. First and foremost, I want to thank all of you. And secondly, to say that I also stand here in my capacity as the chair at the Council of Governors on the ICT docket. And my overall chair is here. And I want to congratulate the team from KICTANet and all those who conceptualized this idea and say that we support it 100%, because this is something that has been missing link for so long. And I want to thank the British High Commission for the great work you've done. You've done so much for us as a country, but I think this one is one of the best. It may not be seen now. It may not be, those who don't understand it may not know what it is, but I can tell you it is a revolution. And I will tell you the reason why Kenya is not moving in terms of digital is because when digitalization came, people looked at it as a communication tool. And when we looked at it as a communication tool, we actually used it to settle political scores and throw insults and even doing some funny things online. That has been the biggest problem. This program here is coming in to divert Kenyans from misuse and using it for necessary issues to actually have it for productive and to change this country. Therefore, as a governor from Elgeyo Marakwet County, we want to appreciate. We are the second cohort of counties, and I'm happy that the criteria used by this team was one of the best. Rarely do you get Elgeyo Marakwet being selected among any counties. I don't know if the name is not so appealing. Same to my colleagues. I think I'm also part of those ones who are being seen as from the north. Maybe probably because of the conflicts that we usually have, banditry and those funny things that happen in the north. But it is a great honor to have Elgeyo Marakwet in this. And just to show our commitment, before we signed, Elgeyo Marakwet had done some work with ACWICT, who are here, and we have already trained our digital champions before we signed the program. We have trained already 1,000 of them, almost 800 and something, and we are doing phase 2. And we are signing. You can imagine what will happen after the signing of this program. We are going to do a lot of things. We have only a few challenges that I want to request this team, that everyone is in Kenya assumes to be very bright, assumes to be knowing things digitally. will get anyone moving in the streets and they think they know. Even me as governor, I may not know everything. What I want to suggest, even our staff at the county level, they would be some of our best ambassadors in this process. We are requesting that this program, when you come, our first line of training should actually start with our county staff. And secondly, for sustainability purposes, we are requesting that us as counties, our ECD teachers, because I'm transitioning to now digital learning in ECD, our ECD teachers also become part of this process, and also our instructors at the vocational training centers where they impart skills to young people. We are suggesting that if possible, we train at least all trainers, there are few, so that these trainers, anytime they are doing their training, they can mainstream digital skilling to these fellows. And I can tell you, things will not be the same again. So I want to support and say we will make sure that Elgeyo Marakwet shines. We only needed that the British High Commission to continue expanding and supporting this program and supporting the team by KICTANet and the entire team so that we can be able to move. Another second challenge is internet. My friend Kamanguya is here. We have discussed this with him. I even helped him to persuade my governors to ensure that every county allows free way leaves so that we don't charge fiber optic way leaves across all 47 counties. And I started. In Elgeyo Marakwet County, I charge 0. If you want to lay your internet, cable, anything that you want to do related to internet in my county, you are charged 0. And I'm still trying to persuade 50% of my colleagues have accepted, some others, and Kamanguya usually calls me when he gets into trouble with some of my colleagues. And you know, we have kanjos in the counties. Sometimes they can bring trouble. But I've always been having a discussion with individual governors to ensure that we have internet penetration across our counties. So I want to say that's the second challenge. And the final challenge is the attitude among our youth. We don't know how we can handle it, but we have to do a mindset change of our youth to understand that this digital space can be used for very meaningful things. Usually when I talk to the youth, I usually tell them, don't tell us you don't have money. Because if you are online from morning to evening, sometimes to up to midnight, sometimes betting online, doing all those funny things online, I've told them you can even turn around and use the same platform and go to a nearby store, maybe a grocery, a supermarket, an electronic shop, and you tell them, guys, I want to be your marketing officer online. When I sell one thing, you pay me 5% or you increase something on top of it. Without you having any capital, you can be able to sell for that person, and in the process, you can establish your own business instead of insulting a governor from morning to evening. I will still be a governor even if you insult me 10 times. So I always try to change their minds. So I don't know how we are going to do it in this team, and I want to request those ones who will be going to train the youth that just try to twist. Some of them are even very competent digitally. But how do we change the mindset from this without, of course, the Gen Zs now, you don't tell them things directly. You find a way to explain to them the better alternative, so that in economics, we usually tell you about an alternative. Can we tell the youth that there is an alternative to this, a lot of space? Sometimes when you go to X and you get them to discussing politics, they have an X space from morning to evening. What happens if they are discussing digitization from morning to evening and even digital marketing from morning to evening? Kenya will change. But because of we are wired to dirty politics, tribalism, very nasty things, Kenya is not moving as fast. Let us use this program to be a program to ensure that we turn around our young people towards the best field. Otherwise, thank you so much.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Abdi Dagane Ahmed, the Deputy Governor for Garissa. You know, there is a protocol. Our bosses have spoken, then I don't think we need to speak. Especially the chair, the Council of Governors speak, then you don't call a Deputy Governor to speak. But nevertheless, I came here with my County Secretary, Mr. Mahmoud Hassan. Yeah, we are also very much ready to sign the MOU and actually to bring the salam from my governor, who is currently out of the country, and to give our commitment as a county government to support this program. Maybe what I will say, has already been echoed by my bosses here, is that we need to inform our youngsters that the use of this platform must come with some responsibility. You know, you cannot just wake up every morning, every day, insulting leaders and actually using the digital platform in a very, very negative manner. So mine is to say the trainers, please try to instill, advise, and put some elements of, ability in our trainings. So with those few remarks, nasema asanteni sana. Thank you.
The Chair Council of Governors and all protocols observed. Thank you very much for inviting me. I'm a bit surprised. I didn't know I was going to talk. But it gives me an opportunity to talk to some of my colleagues that I've seen here. Chair Council of Governors, when I see you governors, I have a sense of nostalgia because I remember when we started with you and others. I remember the Council of Governors sending me. That time I was the chair of Human Resources, and having worked in government before that for many years as a years in charge of personnel management, you sent me to actually clear the institutional framework for the nascent devolution system that had then started. For those new governors, you probably will not understand how those systems were put in place, but I negotiated them on behalf of the Council of Governors, including the advisory teams and whatever that is there at the county at the moment. So when I see you people, I feel very nice. I'm grateful because the organization that I chair, I work as part of the Communications Authority team. I chair an advisory team that is called Universal Service Advisory Council, mainly handling issues of digital inclusivity, issues of, for instance, the National Digital Superhighway, both Phase 1 and Phase 2. We give resources to my brother here for its implementation. The Voice Project and many other projects that are there, we give the resources from CA, and we advise on that. In the particular instance of the support that we work closely, and Charles Juma, you are here, and we want to thank you for the support that you are giving us on areas of digital inclusivity. They are not only supporting this particular area that we are discussing this morning, they have also been supporting the USF and the CA. For instance, they supported us in the finalization of our strategic plan or our broad strategy. They did support us on that, and the strategy has actually been finalized. They are also supporting us in quite a number of other areas. For instance, in areas that relate to the digitization of the agricultural content and many other areas that we have sought support from them. And so for you people in the counties, this is the future. The future for us, not only for Kenya, but I think for the entire continent of Africa. This is the future for us, and we must embrace it so that we can also reach where the other continents have reached. I want to thank you. I'm part of your discussions here, and I want to thank the UK DAP for all the support that you're giving. Thank you very much.